Hello and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Northeast. I am Bukola Koka. And we begin in Yobe State, where the Biodata Capturing Committee, set up by the Yobe State government, has verified 20,000 employees across its ministries and departments in its quest to fishing out ghost workers and uphold internal control. Inspecting the exercise in Damaturu, head of the civil service, Mohammed Hamidu, explains that the measures taken are to ensure only genuine employees of government are on its payroll. The Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Mohammed Abacha, who also monitored the exercise, expressed dismay over the non-compliance of some civil servants with filling the nominal roll form and vowed to delist them from the payroll after the deadline of the exercise.
The head of the Yobe State Civil Service, Mohammed Hamidu, Commissioner for Finance, Mohammed Abacha, and other top government officials meet with the Biodata Capturing Committee to see the progress of workers' verification, to fish out ghost workers and uphold internal control.
What will be the first instance is
the team proceeds to the State Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning in company of the committee members, where nominal roll forms are captured. The government officials gave an update on the exercise that began in June 2024, reiterating that anyone found wanting will be delisted from the payroll by January 2025.
So far, we update the total number of 20,763 out of about 30,862. So we are still having outstanding of 10,099, about 10,000 staffs which are not yet being updated into our database.
You see, all along, since the establishment of this state, Yobe State, we have never had nominal roll. And for internal control purpose, nominal roll is one of the key documents for running personnel in any organization. Nominal roll is being controlled in the office of the head of service. The Ministry of Finance is only responsible for payroll. I try to enhance financial integrity in the state. By the time this system is moved to the office of the head of service, there will be proper internal control based on international best practices. That's what we are working toward.
The head of the civil service reveals that over 2,000 employees in the key ministries and departments are yet to comply with the directives.
We discovered that they are doing very well, and some MDs are actually not compliant in terms of submitting their staff files. The next action is to invite those MDs that are not actually submitting all the files of their personnel to meet with them and chart the way forward. Well, actually, we are not expecting, but the outcome of this exercise will tell us whether there are ghost workers or not.
It is anticipated that the workers who scale the verification exercise will have cause to smile following the implementation of the new minimum wage committee.
We're still in Yobe State. The government has spent the sum of 7.9 billion naira on the reconstruction of schools, of national examinations, school feeding, transportation of students on change program, among others. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic Education, Bukar Aji, disclosed this while responding to allegations that the state government spent zero expenditure in the 2024 fiscal year. Aji explains that the allegations were malicious and tantamount to tarnishing the image of the state, as there was no single day the request of the ministry was turned down by the executive arm of government. According to him, education is free in the state from basic to secondary level, including the payment of West African Examination Council, National Examination Council, among other fees.
The government of Honorable Maimala Buni has a passion for education, and I doubt very much he has never ever turned down our requests, and our allocation has been going on. And simply because I can assure you, from January to date, that is for the current year, that is for the year 2024, up to date, we assess the sum of over 7 billion naira. To be precise, we assess the sum of 7,922,279,728 naira. So these are for basic education only. For example, we spend the sum of 2,194 for school renovations and reconstructions. That is, this comprises of about 5 schools, and some are still ongoing. And then for our examinations, for the student examination, both WAEC, NECO, and NAPTEP were being paid by the Yobe state government. Once you are an indigenous of a state, you are attending the public school, the state government is paying for your WAEC, NECO, and NAPTEP. So far, we spend for this current fiscal year, we spend the sum of 977 million naira.
Away from Yobe State now, an investigative panel set up by the National Human Rights Commission has indicted the Nigerian army over alleged mass infanticide and other killings at Abisari in the Marte local government area of Borno State in 2016. The Special Independent Investigative Panel on Human Rights Violations and Counterinsurgency Operations in Northeast Nigeria released its findings at the NHRC headquarters in Abuja on Friday after nearly 2 years of investigations. It follows a 2022 Reuters investigative report alleging that the Nigerian army ran a secret program terminating at least 10,000 pregnancies of freed captives of Boko Haram terrorists. But it absolved the army of these allegations, saying there is no evidence of the secret program. Our correspondent, Emanuela Ekele, reports.
The panel was inaugurated in February 2023 by the National Human Rights Commission to look into allegations of human rights abuse against the military in the Northeast by Reuters, which includes forced abortions on women, torture, extrajudicial killings, among others. In its report, the panel described the allegations against the military as false.
The panel made its findings meticulously on each of the issues. And time will not permit us to go through them one after the other. But just for you to understand, I've already spoken about the abortion assault. For the abortion assault, the panel did not find evidence that the Nigerian Armed Forces committed a systematic, secret, or policy-driven abortion in the Northeast to the tune of 10,000 abortions. There was no evidence before the panel to prove that. I have also mentioned for the same report, abortion assault, that the panel found probability based on witness testimony that the NGO Medicine Sans Frontières was engaged in abortion procedures for some years in the Northeast through its medical facilities that it operated.
However, the report also indicted the military of intentional killing of infants in one of its operations on June 16, 2016.
But the panel found the military culpable of infanticide and the killing of community members in a village of Abisare in Marte local government area of Borno State on the 16th of June 2016. We received witness testimonies, including those of survivors and relations of the deceased.
The chairman of the panel, Justice Abdul Abuki, retired, spoke about how the independent investigation of the panel worked without any form of interference from the commission or any other government agency in the country.
It is to the credit of the panel members, the Secretariat, the National Human Rights Commission, and supporting partners today I can proudly assert that an extensive and thorough investigation based on justice and fairness has been achieved.
Receiving the report, the Executive Secretary of the Commission highlights the need for transparency in security operations in the country, as well as the need to protect citizens from impunity.
The NHRC is committed to ensuring that citizens of Abisari community identified in this report receive compensation and will continue to work with the military and Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and that of Borno State to ensure that justice is served. Never again shall these kind of atrocities go unaddressed.
Now that investigations are concluded and reports submitted, the next stage is implementation strategies across board to ensure such incidences never rear its head. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
The governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, has called for expanded collaboration with the World Bank to accelerate the state's post-conflict recovery efforts. Governor Zulum made this call during a meeting with the newly appointed country director of the World Bank, Dr. Ndiame Diop, in Abuja. Governor Zulum emphasizes the importance of the World Bank's ongoing assistance in critical areas, including education, agriculture, health, and livestock development. The governor highlights the significant impact of the World Bank's multi-sectoral crisis recovery project in Borno, which has enabled the execution of numerous life-saving and transformative projects across the state. In response, Dr. Diop pledged the World Bank's ongoing partnership with Borno State in the areas of education, healthcare, agriculture, and livestock. And in Gombe State, in what seems a spectacular move towards ensuring energy security, the Gombe State government has signed a memorandum of understanding with China, an 18th engineering firm, for a 100-megawatt solar project in the state to reduce overdependence on the national grid. In the wake of recurring grid collapses that have affected and continue to undermine the operational stability of large, medium, and small-scale businesses in the state, Governor Inuwa Yahaya had contacted the energy giant during his visit to China in September to shore up Gombe State's investment and business drives.
Energy is the life wire that powers water supply, food security, education, and economic development, hence the desire of governments across the world to ensure energy self-sufficiency. In 2019, Gombe State in northeast Nigeria witnessed a paradigm shift as Governor Inuwa Yahaya introduced renewable solar energy into street lighting, water supply, teaching and learning, as well as healthcare, saving the state government funds usually used to procure diesel and ramping up productivity and the economic well-being of residents. By signing a memorandum of understanding with a Chinese energy giant to produce 100 megawatts of solar power, Governor Yahaya's administration says it intends to address poor electric power supply caused by recent grid collapses that have affected much of the northern states, while leveraging on the newly enacted Electricity Act that empowers states to generate and distribute power.
The one we agreed on, working on, was the issue of how to support Gombe State in conjunction with the 18th Engineering Company to set up a solar-powered power plant that can generate 100 megawatts of electricity. And recently, you saw, I think, a big reason why we need to do so. Gombe, and indeed the entire north, precisely about 17 out of 19 states of the northern Nigeria were cut off from the national grid, meaning there was no power for about 15 days. That could have been avoided if there were small power plants and also there were local grids that connect, individual states.
The solar installation at Worojili Water Booster Station is described by the state government as a testimony to the use of renewable energy to pump millions of liters of water to many homes.
The governor is leveraging on the recently enacted law, granting permission or granting power to states to generate their own power and distribute it and even market it. So that's what the governor is now taking advantage of to get the Gombe state to be energy sufficient, to be energy independent by this solar power project.
Those directly benefiting from this also testify to the improvement in the quality of life.
Whether there is electricity or not, this street light used to help our people in respect of the security.
Business owners equally attest to the revival of their businesses with solar power.
Imagine now we have this solar power in this place that can power all those machines. If you look at, we used to, before the light, we have about 30 workers running into the factory. But now we have only 5. Yes, we have to tell disengage 25 because of the power, so that we can be able to meet up the budget cost.
The only alternative we have now to leave the hydroelectric to embark on solar power and the wind energy. So now we have started with solar because of the availability of the components of solar.
Gombe State says it plans to scale up productivity and the human development indices of its people so they can meaningfully contribute to the overall energy basket of the country.
And still to come on Newsroom series, the Taraba state government hints of a partnership with the National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance Service System, NEMSAS. We'll have details of this and more from Newsroom series. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Taraba state government has keyed into the National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance Service System, NEMSAS, to provide efficient emergency medical response to rural communities in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Bordiya Burma, made this known after a composition of the state response team to ensure universal health coverage in Taraba State.
It's the official commissioning of tricycle ambulances by the Taraba state government aimed at solving health challenges faced by residents, especially emergency maternity cases. The aim is to curb maternal mortality in the 168 wards of the state, ensure that universal health coverage is attained, as well as keep to his cardinal principle of affordable, accessible, and quality health care.
Quality, accessible, and affordable health care is one of the 5 fingers policy of this administration. That is why we are all gathered here to witness part of the healthcare program for this administration. The pentacycle Keke Napep ambulance is made to transport emergency cases quickly and safely from the community to the nearest health facility.
In view of the steps taken to improve healthcare delivery, reduce mortality rate, and enhance overall well-being of rural communities, the state government constituted a response team to service hard-to-reach communities through an intervention network.
This is definitely a welcome development for us as we strive to achieve universal health coverage. Not just universal health coverage, but we want our people to have the dividends of democracy. So this is definitely a timely intervention, and we're going to cooperate with them to ensure that they have everything they need for this program to succeed.
Team lead of the National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance Service System, Tijani Lawal, says the Taraba state is lucky to be upscaled into the program, which seeks to cover the gap in areas of ambulance services, medical transportation, telemedicine support, and emergency response.
All the states, including Taraba, will have a SEMSAS, which is Taraba State Emergency Medical Systems and Ambulance Services. So we have been working together with NEMSAS to strengthen access to healthcare and also strengthen our systems. So we are here on this day to see how we can engage stakeholders and see how this ResMat services can be operational in Taraba State.
The state government says it is willing to partner with more organizations to bridge the gap in healthcare delivery and ensure a safe environment for all.
And more from Adamawa State, the Director General of the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC campaign organization in the last governorship election, Senator Aisha Dahiru Binani, Mr. Saliu Baba Ahmed, has dumped the party for the ruling PDP in Adamawa State. Director General made this known when he, alongside members of the Jimeta community, paid a solidarity visit to the governor of Adamawa State, Umaru Fintiri, in his office in Yola, the state capital. According to him, democracy is all about development, and Governor Fintiri has done tremendously well in areas of development. Therefore, he appeals to the governor to carry everyone along by running an all-inclusive government in the state. We'll have that story subsequently. In the meantime, the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, has signed into law the Bauchi State Independent Public Complaints and Accountability Commission Bill. The new law grants the commission the authority to investigate and prosecute any official who violates public accountability and mismanages state assets. Governor Mohammed believes the law will play a key role in reducing corruption within the state government. Our correspondent, Hajara Aliu, brings details in this report.
Public Complaints and Accountability Commission with responsibility for investigating fraud, embezzlement, and financial infractions related to finances and assets of government and other matters related thereto. This is to inform the general public that we are conscious of our responsibility, and there are lots of leakages and misdemeanors that we must be able to stampede, to work hard to ensure that we curtail them.
The Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Agile, is set to grant parents a financial stimulus aimed at supporting the education of their teenage daughters from ages 10 to 20. The financial stimulus through the Agile Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative under Component 2 of the Agile project, among other things, will empower the poorest households.
Officials of the Adamawa State Ministry of Education, religious and traditional leaders, principals of targeted benefiting schools, and critical education stakeholders converge for a sensitization on the modus operandi of the conditional cash transfer component of the Agile project being funded by the World Bank in collaboration with the Adamawa State government. The State Commissioner for Education says the Agile project is designed to address the out-of-school dilemma. His counterpart in the Ministry of Women Affairs describes the project as necessary.
We are embarking on an aggressive campaign for school enrollment, that people need to send their children to school. While we are battling with that, the biggest one again that confronts us is school retention. So beyond enrollment, there's an issue of retention. And beyond retention, there's an issue of transition.
All of us now are the mouthpiece of the government. We are ambassadors. We are parents. Therefore, it is our duty to teach our children the norms.
The focal person for the project gives more insight into the project and how it will cascade to others in the rural communities.
These beneficiaries are those adolescent girls in primary 6 that will be transiting to JSS 1 and those in JSS 3 transiting to SS1. And this money is not going to the girl, the adolescent girl, but is rather going to the biological mother, or what we call the caregivers.
As crucial as the project might be, beneficiaries must have been captured in the authorized register and the schools rated as very poor with a minimum attendance of 70% before they can access the conditional cash transfer.
And that's it on the program for today, and indeed for the entire week. We'll be back again next week with more editions covering different regions of the country. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.